Top 5 fruits that rebuild muscle and reverse sarcopenia. After 60, most people think muscle loss after 60 is just part of aging. But what if I told you that 5 common fruits, yes, fruits, can quietly reverse muscle decline in your 60s and 70s? Here's the secret. Sarcopenia, the slow shrinking of muscle, isn't just about age. It's about inflammation, poor circulation, and overlooked nutrients. That's the real villain behind weak legs, fatigue, and frailty. Now, imagine waking up without leg cramps, climbing stairs without gasping, feeling stronger at 70 than you did at 60. In today's video, I'll reveal 5 anti-sarcopenia fruits for aging muscles. Fruits that aren't just healthy snacks, but muscle medicine backed by real science. One of them helped a 74-year-old gardener feel young again. Another quiets muscle soreness and improves sleep. And the fourth one? It's shockingly underrated, often sitting in your pantry right now, yet it may be one of the best natural foods for sarcopenia in elderly. But here's the twist. It's not just what you eat, it's how these fruits work inside aging muscle cells that matters. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll have a real strategy to stop age-related muscle loss with food. I still remember Mrs. Thompson's worried eyes the first time she told me about her arms. "Doc," she said softly, "I feel like I'm losing myself. Even opening a jar or lifting my grandchild feels like a mountain now." I saw her shoulders slump as she reached for her cane, and I knew this wasn't just tiredness. It was something deeper. Her muscles were quietly shrinking. Many folks over 60 don't talk about it. It just happens so slowly. But Mrs. Thompson was facing sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss. It's a hidden epidemic. Studies show that by age 65, 1 in 3 adults already has significant muscle loss. By 80, that number jumps to more than half. The really dangerous part is how insidious it is. We often chalk it up to just getting old, yet experts warn that sarcopenia is underdiagnosed and undertreated, even by doctors. And it's heartbreaking to see good people like Mrs. Thompson lose their independence. Because muscle isn't just about strength. It's the foundation of mobility, balance, and daily living. Losing it quietly steals quality of life and dignity. Sarcopenia doubles fall risk and makes it harder to climb stairs, carry groceries, or even stand up from a chair. And because it creeps up slowly, many of us don't notice until we trip, fall, or give up the activities we love. So let's talk plainly about what's happening inside aging muscles, and what we can do to rebuild them naturally. Picture your muscle cells as tiny factories. Over the decades, those factories get worn out. The mitochondria, your body's energy plants, start to sputter. They produce less energy and more waste, in the form of oxidative stress. At the same time, chronic low-grade inflammation, what scientists call inflammaging, starts tearing down the very muscle fibers we need to stay strong. It becomes a vicious cycle. Inflammation damages muscle, and tired mitochondria keep fueling more inflammation. Before you know it, muscles shrink, strength fades. But here's the hopeful part. Your body is incredibly resilient, and research shows that certain fruits help rebuild muscle in older adults by calming inflammation, boosting circulation, and supporting the mitochondria inside your cells. In my years caring for older adults, I've seen these changes work, not just in theory, but in real lives. One of the easiest and most powerful steps? Bring more muscle-rebuilding fruits into your daily routine, nature's own medicine cabinet. Let's walk through 5 of the best fruits that help with muscle loss in elderly adults, each one proven to support strength, balance, and independence after 60. And each step is doable, I promise. First, the mighty avocado. I remember talking with Mr. Patel, a former school principal who was frustrated by muscle cramps and fatigue. We started chatting about what he ate. He loved avocado toast for breakfast, and I gently encouraged him to make it a daily habit. You see, Avocados are a phenomenal blend of nutrients that aging muscle cells crave. They're loaded with monounsaturated fats, those creamy oils you find in olive oil too, that help curb chronic inflammation, one of the major culprits behind sarcopenia in seniors. That means it helps our muscles by reducing the steady inflammatory drip that quietly erodes strength. And those fats can even activate beneficial pathways inside cells that help keep them younger, longer. Avocados also bring some important minerals to the party. Each creamy bite gives you magnesium and potassium. Think of magnesium as the spark plug for muscle energy. In plainer words, without enough magnesium, muscle cells can't produce enough fuel, and they become more prone to damage and fatigue. Similarly, potassium helps our nerves and muscles communicate smoothly, preventing cramps and weakness that are so common after 60. On top of that, avocados contain vitamins E and C, natural antioxidants. These nutrients may protect aging muscles from oxidative damage and support recovery. So yes, avocado isn't just trendy, it's one of the most senior-friendly fruits for mobility and strength. I often tell people, include 1/2 avocado daily in salads, smoothies, or with protein sources. For Mr. Patel, just adding half an avocado a day gave him a noticeable boost. He told me a week later that reaching for the jar felt easier, and his calf cramps were less frequent. That's the beauty of real food, gentle yet powerful medicine. Next up, tart cherries, like Montmorency cherries or tart cherry juice. I'll never forget the story of Gwen, a spry 72-year-old who was training for a charity walk. She complained about lingering soreness in her legs after long walks. I asked, "Have you ever tried tart cherry juice?" She raised an eyebrow, curious. I explained, tart cherries are famous among endurance athletes because they're nature's recovery drink. And they may be one of the most overlooked fruits that help with muscle loss in the elderly. Rich in anthocyanins, those dark red pigments, tart cherries have been shown to reduce inflammation, ease soreness, and even speed muscle recovery. In fact, one review of human studies found that tart cherry consumption reduced muscle soreness and preserved strength in most trials. In plain terms, people who drank tart cherry juice felt better and stayed stronger after exertion. Why? Those anthocyanins act as powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant agents, fighting off the oxidative stress that damages muscle tissue during and after activity. But there's more. Tart cherries are also naturally high in melatonin, the hormone that supports deep sleep. And better sleep means better overnight muscle repair. Researchers note that tart cherry varieties contain around 13.5 nanograms of melatonin per gram, which may help explain why Gwen told me a few weeks later, "Doc, I sleep like a baby, and my muscles don't scream at me after my walks anymore." So my advice: sprinkle some tart cherries into your routine. Recommendation: 8-12 ounces of 100% tart cherry juice daily, or 1-2 servings of cherries. You can eat them dried, blend them into smoothies, or sip on a small glass of tart cherry juice before bed. The science backs it up. Tart cherries may be one of the best anti-sarcopenia fruits for aging muscles, supporting both sleep and recovery. And that's exactly what we need if we want to stop age-related muscle loss with fruits, one bite or sip at a time. Third on our list is pomegranate. Those jewel-like seeds are more than pretty. They're among the best fruits that help with muscle loss in the elderly. Pomegranates contain natural nitrates and polyphenols that boost nitric oxide production in your body. Why does that matter? Because nitric oxide relaxes and widens your blood vessels, allowing more oxygen and nutrients to flood into tired, aging muscles. Think of it as opening the floodgates, delivering muscle-rebuilding fuel exactly where it's needed most. In one study, athletes who consumed pomegranate extract saw a clear increase in blood vessel diameter and post-exercise blood flow. This wasn't just a marginal change, vessels became measurably more relaxed, improving circulation and muscle function. The researchers pointed to nitrates and polyphenols as the drivers of this effect. And while that study involved athletes, the implications matter even more for those of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. Reversing muscle decline in your 60s and 70s often starts with improving circulation, and pomegranates help do exactly that. I remember Mr. Su, an 80-year-old gardener who loved tending to his roses. He used to get winded just climbing the small hill in his yard. I suggested he start his mornings with a handful of pomegranate seeds or a small glass of 100% juice. Recommendation: 4–6 ounces of 100% juice or 1/2 cup arils daily. A few weeks later, he told me, "Doc, I still climb that hill, but now I'm not out of breath by the top. It wasn't magic, it was muscle oxygenation, powered by nitric oxide." Pomegranate gave his aging muscles a bit more vitality. Fourth, prunes. Yes, dried plums. The same fruit your grandma swore by for digestion is actually one of the best natural foods for sarcopenia in elderly adults. Prunes are rich in antioxidants and unique phenolic compounds that lower inflammation and oxidative stress, two of the biggest villains behind muscle loss. Why does that matter? Because chronic inflammation triggers muscle breakdown, and oxidative stress accelerates aging at the cellular level. But prunes help slow down sarcopenia over 60 by calming both processes. I once worked with Ellen, a 75-year-old woman who'd taken up light weight training to protect her strength, but she also had early osteoporosis. She was eating well already, but I asked if she liked prunes. Her eyes lit up. "Love them," she said. I recommended she start with just 4 to 5 daily with meals. Over the next year, her bone density stabilized and her muscle strength noticeably improved. She even said getting out of her favorite armchair was no big deal anymore. Scientific reviews support this. Prunes reduce pro-inflammatory signals and protect both muscle and bone. They're a secret weapon, tasty, gentle, and effective. Finally, blueberries. Tiny dynamos packed with anthocyanins, flavonoids that are both anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective. I often call them brain food. And I've seen time and again that they're also powerful allies for muscle and mobility. Blueberry anthocyanins are known to reduce inflammation in both the brain and muscle tissues, supporting the brain-muscle connection that controls strength, balance, and coordination. One study had older adults drink wild blueberry juice for 12 weeks and found their brain activity increased during memory tasks. Better brain signaling means stronger muscle control, especially important when standing or walking. Another study gave participants a cup of blueberries per day. After a challenging 90-minute workout, the blueberry group had far fewer inflammatory byproducts in their blood than the placebo group. That means faster recovery, less soreness, and better muscle protection. I had a patient named George, a retired marathon runner who still walked briskly every morning. He joked he was slowing down with age until a blueberry blizzard hit his breakfast. He tossed a handful into his oatmeal each day. Months later, he told me he felt clearer, stronger, and kept pace with our walking group instead of falling behind. He called them tiny miracle workers. Blueberries are one of the most powerful anti-sarcopenia fruits for aging muscles and brains alike. So there you have it, 5 of the best fruits to rebuild muscle after 60. Avocado for healthy fats, magnesium, and muscle-protective vitamin E. Tart cherries for recovery, reduced soreness, and better sleep. Pomegranate for enhanced blood flow and natural muscle energy. Prunes to reduce inflammation and protect both muscle and bone. Blueberries for brain-muscle synergy and anti-inflammatory strength. These are more than snacks. They're part of a science-backed strategy to prevent falls, rebuild strength, and reverse muscle loss naturally after 60. I know change can be hard, and it's easy to think, I'm just getting old. But age-related muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, doesn't have to be a one-way street. Simple actions can help restore your strength and protect your independence. You won't notice the change in a day, but over weeks and months, you'll feel it. Stronger legs, steadier steps, easier walks, and a spark of energy you thought was gone. Subscribe for more science-backed senior health tips. Tag a friend or share this with your family who need this. Let's help each other stay strong, sharp, and independent together.